Greetings, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The World According to Waz. It's now Wednesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, and I hope you all have a good one. My friends, I want to touch on a few different things today. One thing I want to talk about really quickly that I've spoken about in the past few podcasts is this funding, this handouts that we're giving to Ukraine and Israel and other countries. You know, if you think about it, I want to stress this point. If you look at the bill that passed the Senate, of course, the bill doesn't address our security at all. They refer to it as a national security bill. It has nothing to do with the security of the United States of America. All it is handouts to other countries, free gifts monetarily, giving away money in your name. Now, some of that money is going to Israel. And this is to help Israel fight Palestine, in Gaza and that. But if you look at the bill itself, not only are we giving money to our friends the Israelis, we're also sending money to Gaza. Stop and think about that for a second, my friends. We are not only standing with our friends the Israelis and giving them billions of dollars to bomb the shit out of Palestine. We are also in the same bill giving a ton of money to Palestine to help them survive the bombardment and to give aid to the Palestinians. Now, regardless of where you stand on this issue with Israel and Palestine, that has to raise some red flags, doesn't it? Doesn't that make you question what the hell is going on here? Why are we giving money to both sides? Maybe there's something a little bit more to this. Maybe we're not just standing with our friends the Israelis. Maybe there's something else going on behind the scenes. Maybe, just maybe, when this is all said and done, and Israel is done bombing the shit out of Palestine, at some point Palestine is going to be rebuilt. And who's going to do that rebuilding? Maybe it's the lobbyists in D.C. whispering in the ear of your members of Congress who are funding both sides of this conflict with your tax dollars, because the people who rebuild Palestine are going to make a shitload of money off of it. That's just something to think about. All right, well, I'm going to move into a story here from the Post Millennial, dated Monday, February 12th. Headline reads, Nikki Haley says she will take a mental competency test, challenging both Donald Trump and Joe Biden to join. Quote, we need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75. The story says Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley said that she has no problem taking a mental competency test and encouraged Republican frontrunner Donald Trump and President Joe Biden to also test their cognitive abilities. Haley made her remarks during the Sunday broadcast of CBS News' Face the Nation with host Margaret Brennan. Brennan noted Haley had previously called Trump's cognitive abilities into question and acknowledged the candidate had also begun handing out paper copies of a cognitive assessment. Quote, when do you plan to take it, Brennan asked. Are you at all concerned that you might offend some older voters? Haley said she had no problem taking the mental competency test. Quote, what I have said is we need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75. I don't care if we do it for 50 and up. But what happened with Joe Biden this week and what have we seen with Donald Trump is another example of why. We have to face the reality of the fact that when you get to these ages, you get diminished, she added. These are people making decisions on our national security. These are people making decisions on the future of our economy, she continued. We need to know that they're at the top of their game. Now, Nikki Haley is not one to talk when it comes to mental competency. If we remember from the debates, our good friend Vivek Ramaswamy made her look like a freaking imbecile. She had that deer in the headlights look when he confronted her on any number of issues. It's quite obvious. Bird brain is the appropriate name for her. Donald Trump came up with that one. That's one of his good ones. I think Ron DeSanctimonious is kind of a weird one. I never really understood that one. But bird brain is appropriate for Nikki Haley. Now, when it comes to Joe Biden, obviously, mentally, he's not all there. I don't think he's there at all. And this is quite scary because this is the man who's in charge right now. Donald Trump is also up there in age, but it's obvious that he's different altogether. He's definitely still there mentally. I see no problems with his mental abilities. He is getting older, though, in age. And this is troubling to me, and I want to explain to you why. I mean, we have to deal with the fact that Donald Trump, if he becomes president again, and I see no reason why he would lose the election. There's no reason. I can't see him losing this election. It's just not going to happen. Unless they cheat again, or God forbid something that happens to Donald Trump, he will become president again and serve a second term. And when that happens, while in office, Donald Trump will be as old as Joe Biden is now. He will reach the age of 80 and beyond. Now, the average life expectancy for males in the United States is younger than that, which means Joe Biden is right now older than most men live to be in the United States of America, and Donald Trump will be as well when he serves a second term. Now, I see no reason to think that anything would happen to Donald Trump, but you never know. We have to deal with the law of averages here. We have to deal with reality. He is getting older. And if, God forbid, something did happen, we need a competent vice president who's able to take over. And the reason why I'm talking about this again is some of my friends out there have flaunted the names of people like Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as possible VP running mates for Donald Trump. Now, while Gabbard and RFK Jr. are good on a few things, I've talked about this before, at the end of the day, these are liberals. They are much more aligned politically with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris than they are with, say, Donald Trump. And again, God forbid something happened to Donald Trump when he's president, Tulsi Gabbard or RFK Jr., if VP, would then become president. Is that what you want? Do you want another liberal to take over if, God forbid, something happened to Donald Trump? Well, the obvious answer is no, you don't. You want somebody more aligned with him politically to be his running mate. Now, I know a lot of my friends out there, Donald Trump fans, are very, very angry at Ron DeSantis right now. Ever since he decided to run against Donald Trump, he became your enemy. Now, prior to that, let's be honest, prior to him deciding to run against Donald Trump, you all thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, the best governor we've ever had in this country. He handled everything beautifully. He killed it in the 2022 election. It was only after he decided to run against Donald Trump that you suddenly don't like him. Truth be told, Ron DeSantis would be a great running mate for Donald Trump. Because, again, if Donald Trump, something happened to him, God forbid, again, Ron DeSantis would be a hell of a lot better as president than somebody like Tulsi Gabbard or Robert F. Kennedy Jr., without question. Or someone like Vivek Ramaswamy, for example. Somebody who's aligned with Trump politically. And preferably somebody younger, like DeSantis or Ramaswamy. But that's my opinion. I'm going to leave it at that tonight, my friends. On this Valentine's Day, I hope you all have a good Valentine's Day. You know, tell your sweetie you love him or her. Give her some chocolates, a card, go out to dinner, have a good evening. And I'll talk to you again soon, my friends.